Well, hello everyone out there in YouTubeville. I just wanted to share something with you that my mother has requested from me, and that is to tell a story, kind of a bedtime story, and use what's known as spoonerisms. And this is something I learned as a little kid, that is the changing of the, let's say I'm saying a sentence, I'm going to change the first letter of the first word with the first letter of the second word. And to give you an example, talking backwards would be balking tackwards. So hopefully you'll be able to follow along, and don't try to pay too close attention. If you just kind of listen, sometimes you'll figure out what I'm saying and it makes sense. So this story is about the three little pigs, and actually I'm going to call the story, obviously balking tackwards, is the P Little Thrigs. Okay, so once upon a while, there was a fig forest. In the middle of the fig forest was the P Little Thrigs, who lived with their Mama Mig and their Papa Pig in a hig bouse. It was a cog labbin, really. And so the P Little Thrigs, they weren't Larry Vittle for Lou Tong. The P Little Thrigs, they fed a lot of ood. And they were eating most such food that Mama Mig said, you're going to laugh to heave, okay? And the P Little Thrigs were not happy to laugh to heave, but needless to say, they did laugh to heave. So the first little fig, his name was Pat Fig, he decided that he was going to be going to hild him a bouse. And so Mama Mig gave the first little fig $10 to hild his bouse. And so the first little fig headed round the deet, and he was walking along the road, and he got a sigh who had a strundle of ball. So he said, oh, I could hild my bouse at a Stratval. So he said, how much for the strundle of ball? And the guy that was strelling the saw said, how about $10? So the first little fig said, oh, that's perfect. I'd have $10. So the first little fig, he purchased the paw, okay? And then he's headed round the dode to hild his bouse out of his straw. So the first little fig finished his bouse, and he was merry viticulous, and he did a good gob, but then he was one. The two other tigs said, oh, well, that house is straight out of Maw, and when the wigwag wolf comes fromping through the forest, he's going to come and dock on your door and hoe your blouse down. So the first little fig said, oh, that sounds terrible. And they said, oh, well, we'll just have to state and we. So the first little fig was in his house, the nursed fight. He was just ditting down the center, and he heard a dock at the door. And then he heard, "Doping that oar," said the wigwag wolf. "You doping that oar." And the first little fig said, "Oh, well, nay, I'm not doping in the oar. You're going to dab me for hinner." And the wigwag wolf said, "You'll dope in that oar night row." And the first little fig said, "Oh, a nut by the chair of my hinny hin hin." And so the wigwag wolf says, "You'll dope in that oar all puffin', all huffin', all hoe your blouse down." And first little pig said, "Oh, dare to scaff." And he doped up the ack bore, and he dan down the road while a wigwag wolf was puffing and huffing and hoe his blouse down. So the first little pig didn't have a house. He went home to Mel Tama and Papa Pig and the poo other tigs. And Cree was highin', and his mama gave him a hig bug when he got to the gore, and she could tell he was cared. And she said, what happened? And the first little pig said, "But wigwag wolf, he came and docked on the door, and I wouldn't let him in, and he puffed and he huffed and he hoe my blouse down." And packet of little cigs started laughing. "Oh, very funny." He said, "I sold your toe. You draw that house straight of Maw, just wouldn't last. when a wig-bag wolf. So the Peck and Sig said, I can build a better house. And so the Pama Mig said, okay, here's $10. So the Peck and Little Sig headed down the road. And he called his Cy, who was selling some mix and stud. And he said, ooh, mix and stud, that'll make a really good grouse. And so the Peck and Little Sig said, how much for the sticks and hud? And the mix and stud, and the guy said, oh, $10. He says, oh, that's perfect. I have $10. And so the Peck and Little Sig, he purchased the mix and stud, and he went to build his house. So he worked Harry Bard and a tong lime, but then he got, well, when he finished, it was a really high snouse out of mix and stud. And the other poo-tigs came along to see his who nouse and said, oh, well, mix and stud, that's probably gonna do it. And the first little fig was, oh, hey, that's not very bunny. This is a Strary Vong house. And that wig-wag wolf, he's not gonna hoe my blouse down. So the two little tigs, they spreaded down the heat. And, well, that night, there was a dock on an oar, and it was a wig-wag wolf, and he said, open the oar! And Peck and Little Sig said, oh, and, whoa, nay, I'm not opening the oar. And wig-wag wolf said, yo, open that oar, I'll puff and huff and hoe your blouse down. And Peck and Little Sig said, well, tribute a guy. I don't think so. So the wig-wag wolf started huffing and puffing and puffing and huffing. And the crow started dacking, and the brood started waking, and the piddle-lig was dared to scaffing. He who opened the oar, the dack bore, that is, and strand down the reed, and he won a gay. Well, the wig-wag bull puffed and puffed, and he who the second Peck and Sig's house, douse hound, so the Peck and Sig had no place to go. He went hack to his bouse, to the big cog labbin in the fiddle of the Morris, and he dammed through the roar, and Palma Mig was there and gave him a hig bug. He said, press the wobblum. And the Peck and Sig said, and the wig-wag wolf, he'd lay a Kong, and he who my blouse town do. Oh, Palma Mig was so very bad, and she handed him on the ped and said, oh, won't Dury, your bird brother, I'm going to give him $20, and he can heal the very high snouse for all P3s. So Palma Mig gave the bird thig Gunny $12, and the bird thig spread down the heat. And the bird thig, he went and he robbed a shound. He didn't buy at the first place. He had a bin in the Frisness who gave him a date grill on a ballad of pox. Okay, and so he had concrete clocks, and he used cement, and he had a real stoof. Okay, so when the purred little fig was finished healing his bouse, the other poo tigs came to Lake Atook, and they liked what they law, and so they all moved into the mouse, and the nursed fight. Well, that wig-wag wolf came docking on the oar, said, open that oar, and the purred fig said, I don't think so, and the wig-wag wolf said, you'll open that oar, I'll huff it, I'll puff it, I'll hold your blouse down. And the purred fig said, oh, let's see what you can sue. And so the wig-wag wolf, he started puffing and huffing and huffing and puffing, but he couldn't hold the blouse down. The oar wouldn't open, and the P3s were inside laughing and rolling on the floor. And so the wig-wag wolf, he was smerry Vart, and he said, oh, I can rhyme up on the kloof. So the wig-wag wolf, he started whiming the claw, and he growled on the goof, and then he went, chown the dimney. And as he came chown the dimney, well, the purred thing was smerry Vart. He was smarter than the smoof, and he had a pot of boiling butter, right near in the plier face. So the wigwag wolf, when he chained down the chimney, he fell right into the rudder, and he started stoiling, and the wigwag wolf was got killed that very day. And that night, the P. little Thrigs had stoof wooed door finner, and it was delicious. And the P. little Thrigs went and they mauled their cuther, and they told Papa Pig and Mama Pig, there's Mo nor wigwag wolf. He chained down the chimney, and we ducked him for kinner. And so the P. little Thrigs went back to their house, and they all bent to wed, and they pred their sares, and they were all hairy vappy, because the wigwag wolf was, well, they dad him for hinner, and they were having full warts as they slell a feep. So, I hope you've enjoyed the story of the P. little Thrigs, and we'll leave it at that. And maybe return some other time for a story about Rindercella and the Bancy Fall where she slopped her dripper. We'll be back later. Please give us a thumbs up if you like this. See ya.